It's my best friend, she's 23. She left her body and hovered above me. I saw no shadow, I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt a glow. The warmth inside me, it kept me afloat. It felt like heaven had found my bones and gave me comfort when I feel alone. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend, she's 23. She left her body and hovered above me. My best friend, she's 23. I heard the heavens crying above me. They gained an angel, I lost a friend. I felt like dying again and again. I went through hell, stared at death, but I keep fighting with each living breath. I saw no way out from where I stood. Felt like the fire had burned me through. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend. Inside your self-righteous symphony, I would rather let this go than to bring it up again.
What's up, nerds? Welcome back to another episode of the Burly Fishing Podcast Live. It's another Thursday. We get to hang out with you all, which means it's a good day. It's a good night. And we get to hang out with this guy. We got Georgia Bassmaster on, aka Marshall Stamps. That's right. I inverted those because your alter ego is really your actual self. But we got Marshall on tonight. We're excited to talk to him. We're going to talk about his YouTube journey. We're going to talk about TikTok. We're going to talk about fishing. We got all sorts of stuff coming up, and I'm sure you got a lot of stuff in the works that you want to share as well. But how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing great. Glad to be here.
Yeah, you're at the family dinner table. You just had some Firehouse subs. Like, you're living your best life, right?
That's right.
Probably got like the three boys right around the corner from you, next to that picture of the pig, which looks awesome as well.
Yeah, I got them strapped down in the bed, so
I believe
hopefully
it.
they won't run in here.
Strapped down like duct tape, multi-purpose, man.
Well,
it works really well.
I feel like you have to. I mean, your kitchen looks so much nicer than mine. I'm
It's
horrified
immaculate.
about my living situation because of how nice your kitchen area or your dining area looks.
This is just this point of view.
Specifically, right outside of that, everything is just garbage.
I can't rotate the camera.
No, don't. I get it. My favorite thing right now is, and don't let your wife yell at me or anything, but that pumpkin that's like slightly off of the banister in the back. Do you see that, Paul?
I do.
Pumpkin, this pumpkin's just hanging 10 like all night. It's like, what's up, dude? All right, you guys, we're going to get into a great show here tonight. So, of course, you guys know the drill. And if you don't, welcome to the show. Be sure to subscribe, smash the like, ring the notification bell, and share this episode that is currently occurring with all your fishing friends so they can come hang out with us because there's no Monster Bass Live. That's right. Rick decided not to compete with us. We finally beat them. I'm kidding. But they're taking the week off. So you guys get to hang out with us tonight on the early part of the show, which I'm excited for. We got a giveaway coming up for you at the end of the show. Don't forget. So hang tight. $25 Monster Bass gift card. Good to monsterbass.com. Good for anything, including Burly gear, as well as all the tackle you could ever think of. It's a giant tackle store now. It's pretty insane, honestly. And MB's making a ton of gear too, so you can go check that out if you want. We will pick a random chatter at the end of the show, so don't start typing chat just yet. Just hang out for the end of the show. Hang tight. We got some new members to announce. So we got Taylor McAllister. Welcome to the Snorlax crew. I see a lot of Snorlaxers, you guys. The shirt orders are going to go out very, very soon. I'm going to double check all of the orders tomorrow. So if you're on the Snorlax crew, go check our community page and you will see a message with a link to go place your order, pick your size, all that. No cost to you. We got you covered for a Ned Riggs shirt. It's going to be sick. I can't wait for my shirt personally. It's going to be awesome. I'll wear it every day. We got Eric Mueller on the Snorlax crew. We got Frank Ducetta. I'm going to go with that. Snorlax crew, thank you. Welcome aboard. We got renewed members, Midwest Warrior. You guys are fantastic. Shark Deuce for 5 months. Greg Whitaker, Shark Deuce for 6 months. Good grief. And Candy Fiala, Snorlax for 6 months on the Snorlax crew. Oh my gosh. Close to the top level right there. So t-shirt update again. Click the link. Fill out your size. We're going to get you in there. And you guys come back on Tuesday next week, 10/12. We've got a members only live just for you members in the Shark Deuce and Snorlax crew levels. So come hang out with us. Same time, same place, 8 p.m. Eastern. And that's all I got, Paul. Go ahead.
Actually, that was pretty good. Well done. I like
good.
that you went not quite light speed, but like pretty. You breezed through it very nicely. Well done. So
it was like 2 breaths, you know.
Yeah, it was good. So we always kick off the show with the Q of the D. It's our little icebreaker question of the day. This one, I like this one a lot. So if you could go, I'm using air quotes, pro. If you could go pro in something other than fishing, what would it be? So if you were gonna like ditch whatever job you were doing and it was gonna be like your main gig, but it couldn't be fishing, what would you pick?
Interesting. Marshall, you go first.
I will go if you don't have an answer. I will be the sacrificial lamb if you don't have anything quick.
Marshall's like, it's fishing. It's fishing.
Let me think about it. You go ahead and go.
Okay, I'll go first. I did not think about this long and hard. I thought about this for like 12 seconds. And I actually thought about this while I was writing the question. Totally forgot what my answer was going to be. But mine would actually be probably woodworking. Like I would like to be either, you know what? And it could actually be either like custom home construction. That would be one thing. Or it would be like woodworking, like making furniture or even like cabinets, stuff like that. I would totally be down. I do a lot of that in my spare time. I love a good project. There's nothing like a good project. I could totally, I could pay the bills doing that and be pretty darn happy.
See, this is a tough one. And before I say my answer, I just want to shout out Kyle Skaggs. Welcome to the Snorlax crew. Make sure you click that link, fill out the shirt info. I'm gonna cross-reference everybody. Don't you guys worry. If I don't see your name on there, I'm gonna find a way to contact you, and I'll make a post again and again and again until I get you guys before we place the final order. So get on it. For me, it's tough because when I get a new hobby, I don't know if you guys have seen this TikTok that's super hilarious. There's a guy and he's
I'm
like,
off to do a new hobby.
My new hobby. It's like, that's enough of that hobby. Like when I pick up a new hobby, I bury all of my other hobbies in a graveyard and like they're gone. They're dead to me. But in my past, like I would say mountain biking has been one of like my favorite things to do. That was just a blast, tons of fun. I don't think I could get into the downhill circuit because it's just too gnarly for me, but maybe like some cross country stuff, maybe some trail races, things like that. It'd be a ton of fun. I used to build my own mountain bikes when I worked at some sporting goods stores, and yeah, I could see if it wasn't this, it could have been that. But yeah, I can't think of honestly anything else because I just don't do. It's like, what do we have time for? We were talking about this before the show because Marshall has kids too, so we're talking about like, how do you make time for that hobby, that passion, right? And oh my gosh, it's hard to do with one.
When I built the bar that's in the basement,
Mm-hmm.
I did that in January, and to cure everything, I ran a propane heater for 4 days straight in my garage with it cracked, and I did the whole thing in 3 days, and like had to cure it after that. And I did all that like in winter, dude. I'm down for when it comes to like woodworking project. Like I'm in. I'm all in. Jeff knows. I am
Yep.
like, let's do it.
They know. Construction guy Paul, you guys. I called him in. Oh, look at that. Official Burly hype man _ DBA _ Paul's flesh tone stash. Every episode with this guy. Cheers to you, my friend. Thanks for the super chat for $5. Can't wait for my shirt. Finally not working during the show. Awesome. Paul really wants to be a male gigolo.
I don't know if I'm talented enough.
He's not. There's no way. There's no way. All right. Well, with all this nonsense out of the way, Marshall, any ideas?
Mine kind of revolves around fishing, so I apologize, but it'd probably be some type of freshwater biologist. I'm actually pretty interested in. We actually have 11 species of black bass in Georgia. We have more black bass species than any other state in the country, and I'm pretty interested in. I know a few guys that work for the Georgia DNR and actually go out and sample species, try to keep species strains, pure, and we have a lot of crossbreeding and people relocating other species that are kind of endangering others. But I think I'd probably go somewhere along the lines of that occupation.
Cracking down on some bucket biology. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. That's a great answer. I would like to think that I could do that, and I know that I would enjoy it, but I would not do it on the fishing side. I would do it on the hunting side way before I would do that on the fishing side, only because I don't know why, but I feel so much more fulfilled like with the number of animal species that are out there, and I know some folks that do that job, and like I would be down to go trank some bears and like take samples. Yes. I looked at Jeff, do you remember I actually looked into going and being an officer for the DNR? Like I actually looked into doing it, and I was like, yo, this is a legit, like, I mean, it's hard to shift gears when you're like 32, which was when I was looking at doing it. But like I could totally see myself. If I could pick one thing, I'd probably stick to like swinging a hammer. That's probably what I'd say. That's a really good answer. I like it.
I want you to roll into your interview and be like, look, man, I gotta be honest, I'm gonna just shoot you straight right now. I'm down to go trank some bears. And they'd be like, bro, you're hired, let's do this.
You know what though? It's amazing the way that they do that. They go find denned up bears, and you get this big stick, and you literally just jab them with a big stick. That's the whole process. They camera where these bears are. They find where the dens are remotely, and then in order to collar them, run tests, check all the claws, check the teeth, like see if they're pregnant, see how many times they give babies, check on the cut, like to do all that stuff. Yeah, they basically find a den. They walk up to it while it's sleeping, and they jab it with a long stick that has a trank at the end of it. That's the whole process.
That's sketch.
Freaking And I mean, granted, 99% of the time it's like black bears. Like people don't do that to grizzlies nearly as much. You know, and black bears not the same as brown bears. But dude, can you? Oh my god, unbelievable! So great answer. That's like one of the best. Actually, it's one of the best Q of the D answers we've gotten yet. That was good.
It was fair.
All right, so on to the show me. So the real question that I want to know, and we kind of talked about it earlier, but like, are you actually the Bassmaster of Georgia? That's really the thing that is like important for me to understand.
Plant your flag.
Yeah, we had a vote on Instagram. I got the most likes, so that's pretty much how that happened.
Burn Georgia people! Oh no!
Take them out. I don't know if that's like a dig on people of Instagram or people of Georgia specifically. So I think you might want to.
Yes, it is all of the above.
Yeah, definitely both.
That's absurd. So where did the name come from?
All right, so I got a little backstory. Is in high school I missed so many days of track football because when spawn season or whatever fall, when fishing was right, I was gone and I wasn't showing up to anything. So the coaches, everybody in school used to joke around and they just called me the Bassmaster all the time. So when I started my YouTube channel, I named it just Georgia Bassmaster, not thinking anything of it, which apparently that was a bad idea because I've gotten so many like hate notes on my vehicle, notes on YouTube all the time because people are like, "You're so conceited. You think you're like the best fisherman in Georgia." I'm like, that's not even what I was going for, you know?
No. That's like
it's like you're
the opposite.
It's like your AIM screen name is what it is. Like you don't know enough when you're first starting this thing, and you can't possibly foresee like how big you're gonna be. And when it's like a funny inside joke, you're like, "This is hilarious. I would love this." And then 15 years later, like, crap. And that's exactly what everyone everyone had the same thing when they were in like 5th grade or whatever grade you were in when you were set up your first AOL screen name. And you
sent in your resume and you were Skater Boy for 2069 and you didn't get that career job or bonus.
You don't even have a deck. It's exactly what it is. So I can't fault you for it. And I totally understand why people are insane. So I totally get why people would hate on it. But yeah, you can't switch either though. Like once you get like 5,000-10,000 followers, you can't be like, I'll just switch it.
Yeah,
you can. It's just not a good idea.
Yeah. I've asked Larry, a bunch of people, I'm like, should I change my name? They're just like, no, too late.
Yeah, because now you'd be backing down to them. You can't back down from
you can't back down. No, yeah, you got to own that one. Here's the crazy thing, though. Like, I ran across your account, like, way early on into this, and that was not that long ago because I've not been doing this that long.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not think anything of it. Did not faze me even a tiny little bit, didn't even blink. I didn't think about it until you talked about it just now. Like, I understand that people are crazy and they suck, but like what I consider myself to be a relatively normal person, I didn't even blink at it at all. And I did not like expect you to come on here and be like, "I'm the best fisherman." No, not at all. Didn't even.
I wouldn't have cared if you were terrible at fishing and you just claim that. But I do like where the guys go the opposite direction too, like Oklahoma's worst angler. Or, what's the huge one? World's worst fishing. Oh my god,
we
almost couldn't think of his name. Yeah, world's worst fishing. So I mean, those are good examples too. But I mean, why not go the other way? We just had Fluke Master on last week, so I mean, it's like, are we the best podcast in the world because we have the master of the flukes and of Georgia? I'm pretty sure we're great. Burly Fishing's best podcast ever. What if you start the podcast, you're like, best podcast ever? That's what we called it. We gotta plant your flag. I get it. I'm with it. Shout outs to Rockablades here for a super chat for $5. Thank you so much. Today is my son's birthday. Can you wish Ty a happy birthday? Absolutely. Happy birthday, Ty. Cheers.
Happy birthday, dude.
We also wanted to know what lure you each would recommend for a 10-year-old, not live bait. Well, mostly the same ones I'm throwing right now.
Oh.
But where you're fishing, it kind of depends. I would say if you're in a river, throw a Meps or a Ned rig and be happy. And if you're in a lake, just throw a Ned rig and be happy. It depends on if you want to be happy. But this time of year, oh my gosh, I crushed him on the Ned rig the other day. Yesterday. What's today?
I've always crushed them on the Ned rig. That doesn't really count as good advice.
It does, because it works really well for everybody that uses it.
Marshall, what would your answer be?
Probably a finesse worm is my go-to. A green pumpkin, watermelon seed, finesse worm.
Like
Any
a
day.
Texas rig,
Like a trick
or
worm, Texas
Yeah.
rig.
Yeah,
Yeah.
trick worm.
Yep.
Ooh,
I think that's a phenomenal answer. I actually was gonna go Texas rig, and actually the only reason I'm not gonna do that is because most 10-year-olds are probably gonna be using a spinning outfit. And I would have recommended just like a jig with a paddle tail. That probably was but that would be my go-to. But if you're in a place you're gonna get snagged, you want something where if your kid's gonna forget about it, it's okay, and they're probably gonna be able to keep fishing it. So then I went like back to Texas rig. Um, I think what I would actually say, to be honest with you, is just a square bill. I'd
I was
probably
gonna.
say a square bill. You can catch them on accident. You can catch
Yep.
bigs. You can catch little ones. It doesn't matter what kind of water you're in. You can mostly not get hung up on stuff. And you can run it with a spinning rig. It's not ideal, but like you can run it with a spinning rig and cast it just fine. No big deal. It doesn't have to be super big or anything. So I would probably say that. I think a MEPS is a shockingly good answer though too. Like that is a you can and you can go downsize and you can catch like absolutely
They
anything.
come in all
Like you
sizes.
catch bass, you catch panfish, like crap. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
All good answers. But when I think about kids fishing, like I just want to catch something. I don't want to be worried about getting them snagged all the time. Like that's what I want to see. So drop
I'd
shot with
say-
a worm would be my number one. Number two would probably be crankbait or MEPS.
But if they don't want to go slow, so I understand the impatience of a 10-year-old because I have the patience of a 10-year-old. So if you don't want to go slow, you don't want to power finesse. I will never retract the Ned rig statement, but you could throw a spinnerbait like on a spinning rig, or if he's getting into bait casters, like you just want to straight cast and retrieve and just fan cast around. Spinnerbaits all day. And the colors that I would tell you, and friend of the show Debo's would tell you, white and chartreuse. Same for that MEPS. Because it's gonna be good for like all water clarity conditions. Like it doesn't matter. Like white chartreuse will always kill it. So
Those like 19 very good answers. I mean,
like, did we make it easier for you? I'm pretty sure Rocket Blades has to buy a tackle box now.
It depends on the kid, though. I think we all
really
know,
does.
like as fathers, and you got Marshall. You have 3, so you could probably say like I'd probably give one kid this and another kid that, because one kid is probably just going to cast it out and then go play frisbee until the bell goes off. I know that those kids are out there, and then I know there's kids who are like old enough to be focused and all about it, and you can give that kid a Texas rig, and he's going to want to figure it out. And then there's a kid who's just like, can I please just keep reeling and don't talk to me? And you're going to give that kid a spinnerbait.
That's me. Or it'll be like my daughter, and she'll just throw the whole rod and reel combo in the water and be like, I'm done.
What'd I catch?
Nothing.
Find got this spring.
Yes. Isn't it the best? You're just like, all right, we're going out. We're going to have a good family trip. We're all going to go fishing. It's going to be great. And then one of them, 5 minutes in, it's just like,
yep.
You know, I consider myself to be very lucky. My son is very excited about fishing. He's okay if like I'm doing the fishing he's catching. He's only 2.5, so he can't even cast yet. But he's like very excited by the whole process. And as long as he has like a elongated snack, like a snack that will last a while, we just went fishing, and all he did was splash around in the water, get pumped up when a fish came in, and just kick rocks for, we were out there for 2.5 hours.
Go kick rocks, kid.
He was like having the time of his life, splashing in the water, eating grapes, and when a fish got reeled in, he was like out of his mind. He just wants to grab it and throw it back. And so I am like beyond pumped. Like that is like that's more than I could have ever asked for, to be honest.
Love it. Cheers for another super chat from Matt Putnam, $4.99. Thank you, my friend. I'm a little late, but good choice on another career, Paul, he says. I own my own remodeling business and woodworking on the side. Keep on rocking it, fellas. Thank you so much. It's awesome. Good choice.
That's freaking cool. One of my really good friends does the Splinters and Stuff podcast that just got launched. His name is Luke Johnson from Alabama, and he does nothing but like tables and chairs and dressers and that sort of thing. The most amazing stuff, man. I watched him like get started with some of the just cool looking stuff in his garage, and now he's gone full time and used to be an engineer and made the whole switch. If you haven't listened to that podcast, I highly recommend you check it out. You can find him on my profile on Instagram. I'll put that out there. If you want to watch somebody make some cool stuff, that dude is just that is the coolest thing, to watch somebody just like go out, buy like $15,000 worth of black walnut and then turn it into all kinds of different stuff. It's just unbelievable. But
and now that social media is too intelligent for its own good, and my wife is into woodworking as well, my TikTok has been polluted between Paul and my wife, where I'm now seeing woodworking on TikTok, and I'm like, bro, I don't care that much. Like, it's kind of cool to watch, but at the same time, I'm like, all right, cool.
Next. Well, before we get to some of the social media stuff, because I do want to do that, I think that's always fun to talk about with folks who are kind of into it. Want to know, we asked this question of everybody, how did you get started in fishing? What was the beginning of that journey like for you?
Myself, man, I come from a long line of, my great grandmother was the one who actually started the family tradition of fishing in my family. Actually taught my grandfather, and my grandfather took, basically all the way down to me to where I've been fishing ever since I could walk. So, and I started out as a tournament fisherman, mainly, and just kind of evolved to just, going on YouTube now. So, but I've been going as early as I could cast and walk. I've been fishing.
That's awesome. This is probably, what do you say, Paul, the second or third time that like a grandmother has started the fishing journey for the family. I think that's awesome.
I think it's the greatest.
Was it Debo? It was somebody else.
Who was that? I actually had it when he said that memory like popped into my brain and now it's gone again.
That's the same.
No, well, that's
whoever it was. They're probably cool because they were on our show. Greatest podcast of all time. Go on.
Because we have one. I think that's like. I think that is a. I'm like jealous of people that got started that early because I did not, and I like got into it late. I think there's something to getting into it late because like nobody in my family does it at all. Nobody in my family cares. And I know that it's like my thing because I stumbled into it thanks to my now wife. And now, unfortunately for her, like I figured out that was my thing. Like hunting and fishing was not on my radar until I was in my 20s. And I made up for lost time for sure. Like I was like, if there was a free millisecond from the time that I woke up till like right before I went to bed, I was either watching videos, thinking about it, or out doing it. But I still get jealous of people who like had it from day one. Like it's just, it's time that can't be replaced. It's awesome. I love it.
I love it too. I want to make a quick shout out. Phil Creek is in the chat here, and Phil sent me a shelf. It's going right there. It's not there yet because I have to go get concrete anchors because that's a concrete wall right there. But I'm gonna mount it, man. But yes, exactly the same thing. Concrete screws is what I'm getting. Whatever, tap cons. So I'm gonna mount that. Don't worry, it'll be up by the next show. But I just want to say thank you to Phil because I haven't had a chance to say that to you on Instagram yet. But you're awesome for sending me that shelf. So that's where all the spare reels that I also got a lot of crap for are going. People are like, spare reels? What are those? I'm sorry.
Well, it's kind of, you know what? It's funny you say that. I actually have been like looking around my like collection of like crap that I don't really get to use anymore. I've got to find a way to sell these rods, and I've got like 2 salmon rods that I never get to use. I've got like 3 or 4, 7-foot medium heavies that just don't make the rotation anymore. I've got like 6 or 7 reels between spinning rigs and bait casting rigs that like I just don't use anymore. I think I can donate all the reels, which is probably what I'm going to do. And we always give away fishing gear. I mean, I do that on the daily.
Yeah, reels I do not know away. Rods are a problem.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what to do with these freaking rods. Like, I want to give them to somebody, and like I've got family, like I can give them out to like. There's folks I can give them to, but like, I'm not gonna go give just like someone a salmon rod. They're not gonna do anything with it. I'm not gonna just like. There's only so many people I can give away stuff to where they're just gonna end up sitting in their garage. So I gotta figure out what to. Maybe I could like, and no one's gonna buy like this random assortment of rods. Like they might buy like they'll buy the Bass X, but they're not gonna go want the whatever. And it's like, I do not know. I want to get rid of all of them at once. Like, I just want them to be, I want to get them to somebody that wants them, and I don't want to pay $200 to ship them to those people.
Let's go to local fishing holes and just hide them in the woods and then do a geocaching. Like put them in a rod tube in the woods. And then you can play geocaching. You can be like, hey, in this general vicinity,
the only problem I'm going to have an issue with is like I'm the one that's going to have to write all the clues. Jeff's not going to write the clues.
No,
like I'm going to.
It's like the show notes. I'll read them.
Jeff's not going to write the show.
I'll read them after the facts.
So Marshall, what do you do with all your gear that is like sitting? Is it just like collecting dust, or what do you do with yours?
I hardly ever have extra gear. I usually like give it away in giveaways,
Yeah.
or I have a nephew, bunch of people in my family, or even my dad, where something that may be old to me is like just great for my dad, so I just give it to him, you know.
Yeah, 100%, man. That's
I
a
got
good call out. Nobody
I got
fishes in
one
my
ne- I
family
got one
except for my
I got
dad.
one nephew that I've gotten into it, and he's like totally in, and I just gave him a
Yep.
new bait casting setup. So like I give him another one, but he can't fish it.
Give him your salmon
Yeah,
steelhead.
he's not ready yet. He's already got one. I already hooked
He
him up.
does? Wow.
I gave him a 10-footer year before.
You know, I forgot. When we did all the Akuma gear, I have a salmon steelhead 4-piece rod that I've never used. It's never actually come out of its container. So
Well, we might be here in about 3 weeks.
Are we?
Yeah, I think we are going to be doing
I
that
don't
in
know.
about 3 weeks.
It might happen.
All right.
might do some
Anybody in
steelhead
chat?
stuff.
I'm gonna read this chat because I feel like people are asking. But like, if you have a place for me to get rods that's like relative, even if it was just the cost of shipping, I would probably just, if I could do them all at once, I would probably do that. But like,
Mm-hmm.
$8 for a rod tube plus the cost of shipping, you're in like $20 like per shipment of rods. Just that hurts. So I don't know if I'm down for that yet. I got to figure it out. All right. So the next question I have would definitely be like, you get especially people like you who like grew up fishing. Like a lot of guys look at YouTube and TikTok and Instagram as like the devil. They're like, you don't actually fish. You don't even like fishing. Like you're out here for the thumbs ups and the hearts
Do it
and
for the
all
clout.
that. You're ruining fishing. Like that is, I get that, and I'm not even popular. Like I'm negative popular, and I still get it. My question for you is what kind of got you into being like, you know what I'm gonna do? Like I'm gonna film all this stuff. I'm gonna take the time to edit it. I'm gonna take the time to figure out my title and do my thumbnails and like figure out how to get good at it, and then I'm going to post it every single week from now until I get burnt out and die, or it ends up being my full-time job. What makes you decide like I'm gonna do that?
Right. Yeah. For me, it actually started with one spring. It was either a 32-pound bag or a 33-pound bag, 5-fish sack we had of bass. Every one was about, 6.5, 7 pounds. And it was one of them things where like nobody believed me. Like I had the giant picture of me holding them all. And I was like, I'm
That's
gonna
a
buy
4 if you're
That's a
lucky.
two.
Yeah, if
If
you're
you're
lucky,
lucky.
where's the picture of the scale? Oh, your scale's broke. Where's the picture of the
Yeah,
other
I could
scale?
pull on
The
it
fish was
too.
flat.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna buy a video camera and just
Yeah.
prove. So that's not even where YouTube entered my mind. I bought the video camera and I was just kind of keeping all these files, And I had a
Yep.
buddy who started a YouTube channel for his car, and then he kind of talked me into, hey, let's start a channel together. Like, he's got his channel, I've got mine.
Yep.
So he kind of talked me into it, and I started, posting not every week, but like once every 3-4 weeks. And then I would post a fishing tip, and then it kind of just grew from there.
That's awesome, man. How long you been doing it?
I think it's been 2.5 years so far.
Okay, awesome.
So,
yeah, it's about where
March
we're
will
at, I
be
think.
3. March will be 3 years.
Nice. Okay,
You're
awesome.
you're about a year ahead of us.
Just about.
Yeah, how do you feel? So did you start with YouTube, or was like Instagram? And I know TikTok came later, but like did Instagram, like Facebook, did all of that come like afterwards? Like what was sort of the
Yeah.
order of that? Because a lot of people already have like social media, but
Usually,
then
unless you're Paul,
you gotta like
you have
kind
Facebook.
of either add it like me because I'm 100 years old and I hate social media,
Allegedly 100.
or you gotta like
Maybe
you gotta like migrate your whatever account you were using into like a fishing version.
Yeah, YouTube definitely was first, and Instagram came about a year later, and TikTok shortly after, somewhere in the same time frame.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
How did you feel? How did you feel like starting up a YouTube channel was versus like getting on a
Starting
schedule
TikTok?
for Instagram and like getting on like filming TikToks and all that? Like which one, like in order of like easy? Like what is it? Which one was the easiest? Which one was the hardest?
probably TikTok is the easiest. Instagram is second, and then YouTube is definitely by far the hardest. because like getting people to watch at least 10, 15 minutes hard, but like 10-second clip, man, people do that all day long. Quick entertainment.
Which one's been the most rewarding for you though?
TikTok. TikTok is great. Yeah.
Wow. How big are you on TikTok?
I'm right at almost 300,000. It's actually like 296,000, but I might as well say 300K.
Crazy.
No, we deal with exacts here, so it's 296. I'm kidding.
296.
I ain't giving you that. We're not gonna
Close enough.
friends yet.
That's what Paul and I always do. We're like, round down. Paul and I do this all the time. We're like, well, what's the temperature going to be on Saturday? Oh, it'll be about 50 degrees. I was like, I'm showing 48, which is not 50.
My wife does that. She'll be like, what time is it? I'm like, it's 2:46 or like 2:45. She's like, it's 2:47. And I'm like,
whoa.
Right,
So Paul's getting it from both sides. Like, I'll give him crap about it, his wife gives him crap about it. That's how we roll. So this is my favorite question to ask content creators, and I'm gonna two-part it like I did with Fluke Master though. So number one, what is like the most heinous trolly comment you've ever gotten on any of your social medias? Because you have many.
I don't know. It's hard to pinpoint that one. I have one guy who would.
You have a guy.
I had a guy. I
He
ended up
trails
blocking him.
you? Okay.
I ended up blocking him because he commented on every one of my videos and would just complain about something that I did in every video, like,
Man.
"Oh, you did this wrong," or why did you put that bass in the live well, or why did you do this? Like every video, I just ended up having to block him as a whole. But
wow,
I don't think I can pinpoint one comment specifically.
There's just a dude. That's great. There was just one person that just followed
Larry Melton Jr. had a comment, and we made him like go dig it up and find it, and we found the guy.
Oh,
and
we found it on the show.
We got everyone from Burly Fishing to like. We were like bringing all the heat. We told everybody like, go get this dude. So if you got one, we are more than willing to absolutely lambaste them on social media as a non-issue for us. We protect our own. If you come on the show, you got a couple thousand people ready to make it
part of the ship, part of the crew.
You should have let me know beforehand. I would have found one. We could have
get it back. We'll find
one later. I think maybe we'll do a segment where we just pull up just trolling comments, and we're like, all right, guys, 3, 2, 1, go wreck this dude.
Oh yeah, dude, we'll just curb stomp him on social media.
No threat of violence here. Do not demonetize us, YouTube. Thank you.
But you're gonna be digitally embarrassed.
Digitally wrecked and toothless is all I'm saying. All right, so on the other end of this, though, we'll go to the positive side. What's like the most rewarding moment for you? Any moment you can bring up for that has come out of this social media thing that you've been doing?
I have a few kids in my hometown that are like 14, 15, middle school, transitioning to high school. And, I don't consider myself like big at all whatsoever. But to these kids, I was like Bill Dance to them. And the most rewarding thing I ever like had the opportunity to do was I actually ran into them at a fishing hole one day and they just freaked out. So like I got to give them like fishing gear. And I don't know, just like seeing fans, like being able to like make someone else's day better, that was very rewarding for me.
I love it. That's so awesome, man. What'd you give them? Did you give them like some broken Senkos, or I'm just kidding?
Nah, it was all new stuff in the box.
Nice. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I won't lie. Like that is probably one of the most fun things. Is just like giving out stuff, like because people just light up. They get so excited, and like I feel personally like the gratification because I've been there where I had like 2 crankbaits. Like that was all that I really had, and if someone just like rolled up on a kayak and was like, "Hey, you want like 6 bags of plastics?" I would have been like, "What?" Like, are you kidding? I just had that. Are you, I can't even say it. It's the new TikTok trend, but like, Are you kidding me? Right?
Oh yeah, you
Basically,
can't say that.
I can't say.
Are you doing something that
Are you
yeah, we
asking
can't
my
we don't
fate?
say
Like,
that
yeah,
on
I
YouTube.
would have just that is exactly what would have gone through my head. I would have lost it. So yeah, I think that's just the most amazing thing. And when they know you personally, which that is not something that happens to me at all, I can imagine
Right.
how that would be so cool, especially like in your hometown where you're from. Like that's just that is awesome.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's easiest to recognize Paul out in the wild because of his translucent flesh
I'm
and
just
his fleshy
glowing.
mustache.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
you
he's
can tell.
usually giving off a glow like a moonstone, and you just like you can see him in the dark. It's pretty crazy. But I actually have the inverse of your story, which is one time I was fishing this like campground lake that I've taken Paul to it, and this kid rolls up on a rented kayak. And he's like, hey, I got something you might want. And I'm like, this is weird. What's up? And he's like, just this 12-year-old kid. And he paddles right on up to my boat. And he hands me a used Senko that still has like an offset worm hook in it. And it's just like soggy and just like super thick. And he was like, yeah, I bet you can catch something with this. And I was like, cool, man. Thanks. So I've had the opposite happen where people hand me their trash.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, well, at least it's not in the water anymore. And I, so that was a positive.
Yeah, on the flip side, I've been on the other end where like I went to Bass Pro Shops with Larry and recorded a video.
Yeah.
People were just like coming up to him. They're like, Larry, take a picture of me. Take a picture of me. And he'd take a picture and he's like, hey, this is Georgia Bassmaster right here. And they're just like, who's this guy? He did that.
Oh, can you put it in portrait mode?
He did it like 5 times. I'm like, don't introduce me if they don't know who I am, because they're just like standing there looking at me like, who's this guy?
Like,
Make me feel like this big.
Dude, that's brutal.
No.
Especially because he's been doing this for like 14 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They hand you the camera.
That is, you know what? That's okay. It is what it is.
It happens. It happens, man. Don't worry.
Business card, but
never been
unfortunately, it's
recognized,
gonna
don't
say.
worry.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're gonna have to carry a business card, but it's gonna say Georgia Bassmaster, and you're gonna have to explain that you're not actually the Georgia Bassmaster.
You hand it over. You're like, listen, I get it. Like, I'm not actually saying that. Just like, it's my name. It's a long story.
That's hilarious.
My first name Georgia, last name Bassmaster. All right.
That's right.
That's it. It's my name. Now what are they gonna say? There you go. That's your comeback. You got it.
Yeah.
You
You
got
could
you
legally
could
change it.
There you go. You should. And
that
you
will
should.
definitely go over very well with all the folks that get pissed off about you having that YouTube.
Like, that's my name. Dude, that is planting your flag so hard. Like, that is pouring Quickcrete around your flagpole, and you're just like, bruh, this is where I live now.
Not moving.
Dude, that's
Good luck.
So, having watched your videos and seen a bunch of your content, you do a little bit of fishing on a boat, and you do a little bit of fishing on a kayak. Which do you prefer?
I've actually grown into preferring the kayak fishing. It's something addicting about, just being by yourself on a kayak, on a pond or something, or in a creek or a river. But I really, probably if you asked me now, it'd be a kayak. If you asked me last year, it would have been a boat.
So you're still on trend though. Like it's the love of the kayak fishing is like still growing.
Yeah, I love it.
Dude, you're
it's an addiction.
You're preaching it to like die-hard kayak anglers. I mean, for us, it's either wet wade or kayak fishing. Like those are the options. We do some bank fishing, but it's hard to walk away from either of those.
Yeah,
right.
It's we had John boats, not like big boats, but we had John boats, and we both kind of gave up on them, sold them to buy kayaks.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, kayak, like people always ask me, we get the trash talk all the time because of how high tech kayaks are getting now, and like we have Hobie Pro anglers, so they're like absurd and they're expensive. So automatically, when you own something expensive, people want you to sink under the water and stay there. But like we'll fill our boats up with all our gear, and people are like, yo, why you got all that stuff? Like we had one viral video, right? And it was just Paul pulling up to me on his kayak and me handing him a scale, and he pops a bottle of beer. And we've already talked about this, so we don't have to talk about this anymore on the show. But, consumed said beverage, and then end of TikTok. It was very short. And all we got was hate comments about how we're not real fishermen You don't need that much stuff to fish, and these idiots bought these stupid kayaks for 10 grand. Like blah blah blah. The list goes on, and it's absurd. Then we talked to Fluke Master last week, and his setup is
My setup is I'm a peasant.
I know he's two fish finders with like live scope,
4
like,
Dakota lithiums, yeah,
and like 4 Dakota lithiums. I'm like, bro, don't talk to me. There's no such thing as too much stuff. If it's what helps you get on fish, isn't that the point? That's the reason. Like that's like saying fish finders make you not a fisherman. That's just understanding the water. It's stuff you can't see. You're learning. You're expanding your skill set, and you're learning new things. That's what you're supposed to do, to evolve with said hobby, evolve it into a sport, evolve it into something that you can get out there and you can really, really enjoy it. But I'm with you on kayaks ultimately just because ease of access. I pulled up to a ramp yesterday, and it's pontoon leaving season. So all the pontoons are coming off of the lakes. So all the ramps are just like literally a traffic jam of pontoons waiting for the pontoon guy to come there and pick it up and take it to the marina and to store it and winterize it, right? And I pull up in my kayak, and man, if I had a bass boat, I would have been waiting for like an hour and a half. Like legit. So I wheeled my kayak down right to like the grass section next to the pontoon that was just parked at the ramp, and just launched and then cut between 2 pontoons. It's like, later, nerds. That's why I have one. Oh man.
So what kayak are you rocking right now? Is it a Bonafide?
It is a Bonafide. That was the game changer for me. It's having a good kayak.
Yeah. Which one?
I had a crappy kayak a year ago, and I didn't like kayak fishing too much. I have the Bonafide SS 107. So it's only the 10.5 liter.
Yeah.
But it's accessible. I can put it anywhere.
Yeah.
And light, it's probably I can carry it by myself. Yeah.
That is the game changer. A light kayak makes such a big difference, but I can agree with you with having a crappy kayak. I still have my first kayak. It was $100. It's a mainstream. Yes, it's red, white, and blue, and it's super light and carry it everywhere. It's a 12'3", and I mean it's fast. It's a paddle kayak, obviously, sit inside cockpit style, but it's really uncomfortable. And like having gone to the Hobie Pro Anglers, and then my Hobie was in the shop for almost 4 weeks, and I had to fish out of this kayak. And I swear, every video, and you guys in chat can probably attest to this, I just complained like half the time. I was like, this seat is so uncomfortable. I am not happy. My feet were like cramped in there. I couldn't take half the gear I'm used to. I was like, this sucks. No fish finder. So I feel you. Yeah, having the right kayak makes a huge difference. So how'd you land on the Bonafide? Because there's so many out there.
I was in the market. I finally broke down and said, look, I need to have a good kayak, because having a $200, $300 kayak wasn't cutting it. And so finally I scoured Facebook Marketplace every single day, every hour, had my updates on, and a guy posted my Bonafide that I have now for $600. And that is a $1,400 kayak. I'm sitting there thinking, it's got to be stolen or something. But I instantly messaged him, said I can pick it up right now. And I went and got it. Like, I was like, he's like, should I hold it? I was like, no, meet me right now.
Yeah.
So that's how I ended up getting it.
That's the play. That's what we've been telling people.
100%.
Like, people ask us, where do I find a kayak? And they're too expensive. I was like, dude, even Hobies you'll find on the marketplace they kind of sell, unfortunately, like used Jeeps. Like, they just stay expensive forever. I don't care if it has 2 wheels left. It's $30,000. It's stupid. But other kayaks tend not to hold the value as much, and oftentimes you can luck into one. Like, I lucked into an Old Town Predator 13-foot was my second kayak. It was my first sit on top, right? So very similar to like the RS's, right? And I found it for $800, and it's like a $1,500 to $2,000 kayak because it had a fish finder on it already. So it was like a $2,000 value kayak right there. I got it for $800 just because I did the same thing you did. And if you guys are looking for kayaks, or not so much boats right now, the boat market kind of sucks, used boat market, but kayaks for sure. And then I'm sure things are going to level out maybe in the next year. So by the next, spring, summer 2022, you can probably get into like a good boat. Also, B Dooley just called me on my crap right now. Oh my gosh, dude, I owe you this one, you guys. There is a Garmin fish finder from B Dooley. It is over on my shelf right now. It's the castable sonar. It is really cool just from looking at it. I'm going to do an unboxing on the water review on that very, very soon. I'm really sorry it's taken this long. It's just been a lot of stuff going on here. So it's just a timing situation, man. I'm sorry about that. But it's coming. We're going to do it.
Jeff, maybe if we can do like a convenient exchange, I could like take the I could take the old 10-footer out and
Deal. Paul's going to
test it
save
out.
the day here because that's most likely what's going to happen. Are you going
Dude,
this weekend? Are you doing your thing this weekend or are you
No, I
stuck?
can't. I
Yeah,
can't.
all right.
So, but I'll be around, which means as long as it's not a monsoon, I can get out.
Yeah.
Now, and actually, even
Cool.
if it is, we did it last weekend and it worked in my favor. The
True.
the one thing I'll say about getting a big, super nice kayak, it's great. I love it. It's my go-to. There
It's a
are
yacht.
there are two things. There are two things that like legitimately trump it more often than I'd like to admit, having being a kayak owner. One of them is wet wading with ultralight or light gear. Dude, I have never in my life had more fun fishing, and I mean just like enjoyment. That is more fun. I don't care what anybody says. I'll throw hands over that comment. I'm ready to stand by it.
Don't
It's like
threaten the chat.
the amount of fun and silly that you can have
Yep.
running the ultralights or I just got a medium light and like I'm in love. It's like the best. It's the most fun. Um, and then the other thing is getting. I have a 10-foot sit inside. It's 10.5 foot sit inside in Old Town. Really nice hull. Super sturdy. Not quite. I really need to do some work on the seat, but like I can sit in for 6 7 hours and I don't even think about it. It's comfortable enough. And I've taken it out maybe 2 or 3 times this year, and I've had good fishing days on it like almost every time. And maybe that's why it's like, there's like a good like better memory than it probably should be.
Mhm.
I have like a clip of hook sets that I did for a video, and like that day will live on forever in my brain and take over like my memory of like fishing in that kayak because there's nothing like being in underneath inside the water with a gear and just
Yeah.
boom coming all the way back where the boat rocks out and then
Yeah.
and then you bring that fish in and it's flopping around it like it's in your lap and
It's a pike. It's 24
yeah,
inches.
it doesn't
It's
matter,
just
dude. It's the amount of enjoyment that I've gotten. And then I carry, when I take that rig out, I keep one box of body baits, like a go-to box of body baits behind me.
Mhm.
I keep one smaller, like a medium-sized tackle box of like terminal gear, and then I have maybe like 10, 15 bags of plastics. And that's just what I'm gonna fish with that day. So relatively limited. And then I have 2 rods. I have a spinning setup usually, and then like a go-to bait casting setup. And knocking them dead in that setup, it is it's just the fun factor is like way through the roof. And I wouldn't pick either of those like as my all-time favorite, but there's so many times where I like just look at all the work and the day that I know I'm gonna have when I'm looking at the big kayak, and I'd be like, or or I could just throw on my shorts, put on a waterproof bag, and then go wet wade the river for like all stinking day, be wiping leeches off, and still just have more fun. It's just so much more fun.
So we always get the kind of the noise from our southern fishing friends though when we go wading. So I gotta ask, Marshall, do you wet wade or do you go wade the rivers at all?
Oh yeah. I don't have any waders, but we go waist deep.
Nice. Okay. See, we always hear like anybody down south, they're like, "Yo, you're about to get bit by a gator or snapping turtles." I mean, Georgia may be a little different, but yeah,
Well,
Texas, Florida,
I'm in North Georgia, and we don't have alligators here,
got it.
and so nothing crazy to get bit by really in my area. So we do it up here.
Okay. Do you get leeches a lot?
Not too much.
Okay, so Paul is a literal magnet for leeches. Chat, you guys would not believe. Every time we go out on wet wading, like it could be like a pristine. We actually did this the other day. It was like a pristine, clear creek, just gorgeous water. We're out there. I'm having a good time. He's having a good time. We get out of the water. Guess what? He's got 5 leeches on his leg. I'm like,
Oh.
bro,
I don't even think about
when?
it. It does
How?
not phase me. It does not even phase me in the slightest. Jeff, tell them what I do. I have a really unique strategy for getting rid of them.
Wipe them off.
Just pull them off.
Like they're dirt. He just goes, oh man, leeches. And he just like does this.
And I bleed for
and
the
then
next
he's gushing blood. It's ridiculous though, because I walk everywhere he does and I have never gotten like any leeches on me. The only time I've ever gotten a leech in a Michigan river was when I was like ankle deep in like muck because I was drinking too much with my rugby friends on a river trip. And that was like the only time.
What we do.
Yeah, that's the only time I got them.
So when I first started fishing, like I didn't want to fish lakes because it seemed really intimidating. And I live in a place that has a bunch of really good smallmouth rivers. And so I would get out of work early. I'd just walk to the bank and I would just walk upstream. And I did that for a year and a half because it was like you couldn't miss. Like, they're in there somewhere. They're in this like 8-foot section. Like, I'm going to get one. And it was a great way to learn. But every single day that I got out of these two rivers, I had 2 towels in my truck. I had one for wiping off leeches, and I had one for drying off before that. Like, it was just, it was gonna happen. It was like perfect for leech territory. So anybody's wondering, if you want to avoid leeches, what you want to avoid is silty water that has been stagnant, and anything you can sink into that's like muck or mucky, not sand. Or high grass, because there are grass leeches. I get them all the time too. So those are the 3 things that you want to avoid water-wise in a river if you don't want to get some leeches attached to you. I personally don't care. I'll do some somersaults through there. Doesn't bother me none.
You have a problem, dude. This is part of the show where we have an intervention for Paul about leeches.
That is every show,
bro. It's every show.
So if you could pick one way to fish, like when you're in the kayak, are you going on, like, what's your ratio of like lakes to rivers?
It's probably 50-50.
Dude,
That's what I'm talking about.
You're definitely in the club. If anybody gives you a bad comment, I'm just gonna lay into them. It's gonna be no holds barred, dude. They're going down.
Chat is on call. As soon as you get one, just screenshot it, toss it over with that person's username. We told Larry this too. He sent me one like a couple days after that. Like, we're ready, man. We'll throw down. We'll do it.
Yeah, that's our ratio too. I think I actually have a hard time a lot of times, like, going to a new lake these days, because I know how the river's gonna be, and I'm like, I don't know, I don't want to give up that day on the river because they just get so good.
Fall and spring, especially with the smallies up here and the pike. Like, first of all, the pike on lakes right now are absurd around us. Like, we are just getting nonstop pike, which personally, I don't know how you feel, but we love fishing for pike. Like, when we happen across one. Yeah, do you have pike down there?
We have chain pickerel, which is kind of the cousin of the pike, but we don't have pike.
They're just, how big do they get?
Probably about like this, maybe 14, 18 inches long, somewhere around there.
Do you enjoy catching them, or are you like, dude, what the heck?
I've only caught 2 my whole life, so they're kind of rare. I guess maybe there's some creeks somewhere where they're loaded, but in my area, they're pretty rare.
There's 2 things I want to get all my southern fishing friends on, and that is pike and smallmouth.
Well, I did catch one northern pike in Michigan this year.
I was gonna ask.
It was maybe a 2-footer, 2.5-footer, something like that. Wasn't a big one.
But that's good.
Oh, that's not bad. That's
good.
That's not 426 is nothing to get upset about.
Just over the hammer handle territory. You get onto that 24, you get those hammer handles. They're fun, but they're little skinny slime missiles. You get rid of them.
Yeah,
but over that 24,
really?
I think they smell good. Like,
I have a special place in my heart. It's probably the reason Jeff likes them. It's probably my fault. Like, I have always liked catching them. There's like a fear aspect of getting a hold of one, like a big one. And they
get in your boat and you're like, oh no.
Definitely like, oh no. And I mean, they're just, my favorite part about it is when you catch a big one. Mm-hmm. They have this moment, like when you get a real big one, especially on spinning gear, not on the bait caster. When you get one on spinning gear, it doesn't matter how big a rod you're rocking, really. There's a moment in that fight with a big one where it's just decided that it's done for a second.
Yeah.
And it's sick of whatever's going on, and it's just gonna stop. You'll be reeling
This
it.
is
It'll
great.
it'll do its little jet off, and then
Yep.
you'll kind of rein him back in, and he'll jet off, and then he'll come back in, and all of a sudden he's like, no, and it's just like, and that like there's a 1 second nobody's doing anything. You cannot move that fish. That's the
See,
best.
but
That's
my favorite is when you net them or you get them to the boat and you go to grab them under the chin and they're just like, nah, just kidding.
Yeah.
They do this thing and they just wreck you.
Dude, I've had them go. I used to use those like heavy duty trout nets because they're super
Yeah.
light and they have a great shape actually for catching bass. It's like a wonderful shape for catching bass. A lot better I think than those big hoop ones. I love those longer nets, and especially in a kayak.
Mm-hmm.
I've had pike 2 different times go right through those.
Tear through it.
Like they shoot
Slime
and then they're
missile,
just they go right through them. Those synthetic nets.
They-
Like
you
you
get your
you
spinnerbait
gotta have
back.
one of those.
You get your spinnerbait back and it's straight. You're like, oh, cool. That's exactly what happens. Yeah, man, those things are a freaking blast. They're terrifying. It's definitely Chaz brought up like alligator gar and paddlefish. That would be a blast too.
Battlefield, yeah.
But also just like how massive pike get in Canada, let alone the UK. I don't know if you guys have seen like European pike.
Yeah.
Oh my God. They are so insane. They're so huge. That would be nuts. I don't even know what I would do. I'm terrified of a 20-inch pike. So it's like, 48, 56 inch. Like, no.
Now you
It's
guys have gar. Someone just in chat said alligator gar are delicious. Now, I have eaten gar, and I have
Garballs.
only eaten gar.
Garballs.
I'm gonna ask
Okay.
you how you cook them because
Tell me more.
I have yet to fry them. I haven't tried it yet. I haven't cleaned enough to like experiment.
Mhm.
The taste was phenomenal, but I just like caught one, cut it, sliced it up into strips, and then put it in the fire with like seasonings and butter, like in foil, and just like the texture was horrific. And now I'm like, maybe I want to like put it with some like vinegar, lemon juice overnight, and then like slow cook it in a pan, and then I'm gonna fry it. Like those are the next 2 routes that I got because the flavor was awesome, the texture was terrible. So with that being said, what's the methodology for making one delicious?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So apparently you guys are on some sort of kick here. You get it. So explain to us.
I think it's some type of like Louisiana style cooking.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's basically like look like hush puppies, like little garballs, and they're kind of Cajun. Ones I've had have been like Cajun style. There could be different ones in different areas,
Yeah.
but I've never heard of anybody just eating a fillet. It's always garballs.
Just ball.
So that's what I was gonna ask. Is it shredded, like, or is it
Yeah.
like it's okay? So that makes more sense. I'm gonna have to look these up because
I think it's got too many bones to just fillet it.
I do not have a single. So let me. This is the most wonderful story, and you'll probably appreciate this. And I don't know if you do you eat fish often? Is that something that you do, or are you just like catch and
Yeah.
release 100%? Like just get rid of them. Bye.
I don't eat any largemouth, but I'll eat some spotted bass. Controversial, but
Not controversial at all. I was just in Canada, and I just for myself, I kept 2 bass, well within the legal slot limit because that's what I'm all about. And I kept 2,
Chat,
and I just
calm
made
down.
sandwiches. They're the best. The best sandwiches are smallmouth and largemouth sandwiches. I don't care what anybody says. Fry them up, and they make the best sandwiches. Again, ready to throw hands on that comment. But
Cancel Paul.
yeah, I don't care.
Cancel.
I let me care a little bit. And the so those the gar, right? What the way I don't know if you actually did a really cool video where you were with Larry and you guys were scooping them out of
Yeah.
like a pond and letting them go upriver. That was awesome. You guys can go
Mhm.
check that video out. Chaz, put it in chat where they can find them on YouTube because we're gonna do it again later. But go
I
look
thought
at
you were
that
gonna
video while we're
say-
here.
I thought you were gonna say, Chaz, find and link that video.
I'm not gonna make him do that. I'm not that guy. Chaz
not
makes the
that
wheels
guy.
go round. We don't mess around with Chaz's. We don't mess with him. He
do it.
keeps the show on the air. So
That's true.
but with those gar, what you have to do to clean them is so you catch one and you've held one. They've got like scales like rocks, man. And it's armor. I mean, it's a no joke armor. So what I did was I took a spike, went right through the head. That's a dead fish. That fish was done wriggling in like 10 seconds. Took it over to a picnic table, and you take shears, aluminum, like for trimming aluminum, like metal shears.
Snips.
And you take your tin snips and you go all the way along the back, like right behind the neck, all the way like from the back of the neck, the nape of the neck, one straight line, and it's like all the way back to the tail. Then you do like if I'm the fish from where you made your first cut all the way down, and then you do the same thing at the back. So you've cut like doors, and then you literally take a really your fillet knife, and you basically just peel back and you just run along the inside of that like armor, peel the armor back, and all you have on both sides of that fish are back straps. That's all it is. It's just like a back strap. And you run along the bones, and there is not a single bone in there. You will not, and you can't, because the rib cage is like separating the back strap meat that you're pulling off from like all the internals. You're not puncturing anything. You're not getting any blood sacs, nothing. It is clean, white. It looks like chicken. It is, I'm telling you, like, and it's long. I mean, it's like a good 13-inch, like, 2-inch thick back strap. Like, that's what you're getting. You get two of those.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to marinate them. I really want to try that with one of those when I get one out of St. Clair this year, and then probably next year at this point. And then I really want to, and then I'm gonna have to grind some up, because every year I do I used to do when I did a lot more keeping it for ice season. We weren't filming, but bass, pike, and bluegill, you cook them all, then you mix them all up, and then you fry them as cakes, and that is like. That is murder good. Like, it's like a crab cake. And then you gotta have cornmeal for the outside. That's the ticket right there. That's the one. But I'm gonna have to, Raka, I see that. I'm gonna try it, man. I wanna try these real bad. I need to make these edible. My whole family made fun of me. They still do. They're still like, you ate that, you're disgusting. That. What's wrong with you? I'm like, you guys know me. Of course I hate that.
I eat everything.
Yes, I do.
It's probably better than a catfish. I mean,
dude, I'm ready. Dude, I love catfish. Catfish is my. Do we not like catfish? Is that a thing?
Not for me.
I'm just saying it's not too clean of a fish.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think so.
Oh,
he's putting
catfish,
it on the spectrum of deliciousness.
On the spectrum,
okay.
It's not on delicious. I don't know. I would say
Ramon Outdoors says, "Whoa, no catfish slander."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In terms of
cancel Georgia Bassmaster.
In terms of ease, though, catfish, it actually takes more work to clean and take care of a catfish fillet than probably anything else. Not anything else, but like all the other general fish, because. If you beat them up on temperature, they're trash. If you don't take out the mud line, they're trash. If you don't trim the fat, they're trash. Like, and you're gonna get jabbed eventually. Like one of those whiskers is going through your finger. It's gonna happen. Like, it doesn't matter how many you catch. Like, one of them is gonna randomly go through your finger. So yeah, they're delicious, but yeah, they take some work. But the one thing about catfish is you can catch them and eat them like immediately, as long as they're always cold and they're good. Most fish, I like to let them sit overnight in the cold and let that fillet rest before it's like the texture is going to be like really good. Catfish, you can just eat them. You can noodle in every state. Is it illegal anywhere?
You have to have a license. A license.
You have to have a license to get your finger bit off?
Yeah, I'm not down. I'm not down for that.
What?
I'm gonna go ahead and not do that. Nope.
I have zero interest in doing it. It sounds like super cool. I'm never gonna do that. I don't think.
I'll watch it. Yeah. Yep.
We have a method called Alabama noodling. It's a little bit different.
Okay.
Is this gonna ruin our show? We're gonna get demonetized?
Yeah,
no,
should we turn
shut
it down.
Basically, you know how you scour the banks for the catfish holes? You can see the hole. Well, instead of sticking your hand in it, the way they do it in Alabama, they have like a 2-inch PVC pipe.
False
face. Running through the pipe is a wire and a treble hook, and you basically stick the rod down in the hole. You feel the bite, you yank. Right? So then you got the fish hooked. You just pull it out with the wire and the rod, and then you have the fish, and you don't have to grab it with your hand.
That is like dangerously
smarter.
close. No, yeah, that's dangerously close to tip up fishing.
Yeah.
Like that. No, I said dangerously close. I didn't say exactly.
Gosh dang it.
The best part about I don't know how familiar you are at all with ice fishing, but tip up fishing is basically you drill a hole.
Like, not my thing,
you've
bro.
got like a frisbee. You've got a frisbee with a spool on it, and it's just nylon wire, and then you tie a leader on it with a treble hook or whatever kind of hook you want at the bottom. But if you're pike fishing, it's a treble hook. You drop that one down with some weight, and then it's kind of dangling wherever you want it with like anything from a hot dog to a perch to a shiner. It doesn't matter, like whatever your bait of choice is. Pike comes in and takes it. Usually pike. I mean, if you're going that big, bass, whatever. Fish comes, takes that bait, and then starts dragging it off. Now, when it starts dragging off, it's on that spool. When that spool turns, because that fish is moving out with a bait, it flips up a flag. You see the flag. You run over to your tip up, and you
Right.
watch for that spool to still go, and you're like, there's a fish on there. You pry up your little frisbee. You hold the line so that the fish can't feel the tension. You move the frisbee away, and then you get to do a full stand up, boom, like
Full
hook
send.
set. It is the most gratifying tension of your entire life. There's no, and then you hand line it into. It's the great. It is. I have a video of my first time catching a pike on a tip up, and I was 6 years old. I mean, I was 23, but I reacted like I was 6 years old. It was like the most. It was unbelievably fun, and I will never forget. I will have that video forever. It's amazing.
Oh, I was 6 years old. Well, I was 23, but
I like in my head I can hear myself screaming, "I caught a pike on a tip up!" And like it's just the greatest.
That's
so
awesome. Cool. Oh my
All
gosh!
Right,
and you can catch them on hot dogs.
Hot dogs work, dude. So we do have to do our Soul Rolling Thunder round, but before we dip out, I do have one more question. You talked about, fishing since you were, basically an infant, and you definitely, you know your home lakes. Like we were talking about off air, but we're talking to somebody who knows their water so well that it's like he's basically at a point where you're like, I know where those fish are gonna be. I know we're gonna be last month. I know we're gonna be next month. I know what's going on in my waters. So the question I have for you: when you're going to scout out a new spot to go fishing, what does that process look like for you?
Oh man. Obviously, the way I do it is I always power fish first. I just want to see where they're at, where they're stacked up at. But you're going to stick to your general principles. Fall time of year, they're going to be on the points and falling in, they're shallow. But having a good fish finder, I'll tell you what helps. Like a Google Earth image, history image, being able to see that lake, especially like the depths change, being able to see those points, those islands. But I'm big into fishing offshore structure because not a lot of people do it. I don't know if we're talking about ponds or lakes, but like
Doesn't
lakes
matter.
especially, like offshore fishing on spots. People bank beat all day long, but those fish out there on the offshore, they don't get touched near as much.
Preach to the choir.
If it's a lake, I'm going to try to find a spot like that. But if it's a pond, that's a whole different monster out there. Pond fishing and lake fishing are like night and day different. You can't fish them the same. Lake fishing 100%. To me is almost easier because like you can, I mean, in my opinion, because there's more bodies of water, there's more depth changes, points. You can kind of figure out what they're doing. If you can figure out a pattern on a big lake, you can like go to all the points or go to all the, the rocks or this and that. But like a pond, it's like they're either shallow or deep,
Well, but that's what, it's funny you say that. And we were kind of talking about this, like figuring out your home lake, right? Like when you figure out your home lake, you find out that there's like a third dimension that like you didn't even know about. And you won't realize that you've broken into that third dimension until you realize like you're catching 2-pounders on the regular. Like when you go out and you don't catch a 2 or 3 pounder, you're like, what the heck happened today? And and you don't have that expectation when you go to a new spot. You just don't. And like that's not how it works. But when you're on a body water that you know really well, whether it's a pond or a lake, it doesn't really matter. Like when you know that like there those fish are there.
Mhm.
And like Jeff and I fish a lot of ponds actually, or really small lakes, whatever you want to call them, right? Like probably right now we're riding that line a lot of times.
Mostly smaller lakes.
Yeah, I'd say mostly smaller lakes, but we definitely do our fair share of pond hopping as well, and decent sized lakes too. But um, you're right. Like pond fishing is like the river fishing of
Yeah, like
the big water, right? Because
yeah,
there's only so many spots. But the one thing I'll give pond fishermen, the dudes that always find the 5-pounder, like in the pond, and no one else catches that fish, like those dudes exist, and there is still
yeah,
that third dimension of a pond where there's guys who you're like, they never touch anything above like 100 acres, and they're still jacking giants like at random ponds, and you're like, I fished there 100 times, I've never seen a bass like that come out of there. I get embarrassed like that all the time. Maybe it's just me, but yeah, I think
Yep.
you're right though. Even just like the sheer fact that like in a pond, there's only so many acres to hide. Like there's
yeah.
nowhere to go.
You're gonna end up
Yeah.
throwing the lure by that bass at some point in time during that day. A lake, you're not gonna be able to do that.
No. So last question again before we get into the slow rolling thunder. I know you got to get up early and you're gonna go fishing, so we're gonna try and save you. But what's your go-to lure for fishing? We'll say that like offshore structure, whether it's a rock pile or a hump, right, or a depression or whatever whatever it happens to be that you're trying to fish.
My favorite thing is a Carolina rig, like
How
some
heavy?
type of not usually not too heavy, like half ounce.
Okay.
That's probably good enough for me, just as long as it gets it down there. Because a lot of your offshore, a hump, usually just plastic for me, I guess, because I'm cheapo. As long as I got a
Fair.
tungsten weight, I have a tungsten weight and Carolina rig. Usually 3 foot leader or so, just something to get it off the bottom, something different. So many people, all they do is throw Texas rigs. That
Mhm.
to me, like Carolina rigs, almost extinct in a lot of places. People just don't
Yeah.
like them anymore. I don't know why.
Hard disagree. I feel like you are talking about like would fish how we would fit. We are finesse fishermen. I mean, first and foremost, like that's what my
Mhm.
go-to. Feel like you're telling me that's the Georgia version of a drop shot is what I'm hearing right now.
Yes, right.
Georgia drop
It
shot.
is.
I like it.
I love that, dude.
That's awesome.
We have got to fish together. I feel that it's got to happen. Like I feel like
Yeah.
we're gonna be like, wait a minute, you're in a kayak, I'm in a kayak. You're fishing finesse, I'm fishing finesse. You have like, what is going on? I feel like this
Do
is
we
good.
just become best friends? Do you want to do
Exactly.
karate in the garage? Yes. Let's do
All
it.
right. So Jeff, you want to kick us off for slow rolling thunder?
Yes, sir. I shall. All right, you guys. It's time. It's that time. You already know. You're typing in chat probably already, or you're queuing it up. I need you guys to type in chat. You type in something, you get entered into the giveaway. We're going to do a random draw at the end of the slow rolling thunder round for a $25 gift card to monsterbass.com, upon which website you can purchase any sort of tackle or burly fishing goods you want, or monster bass goods if you want, whatever. But you can definitely buy our stuff. But yeah, $25 will be going to you. You will, if you are chosen to win, which Chaz will announce you as the winner, you will type in your email after you say, hi, I'm here, into chat, and your email will not show, and I will not touch to reveal it, I promise this time. Only Fish in the Southeast email will be publicly available to everybody anytime that they want it. So just make sure you're typing in stuff. So apparently if you type random letters, it gets hidden, so don't do that. Just type chat. Keep it safe. Maybe type in 1, 2, 3 and count up as high as you can. Slow Rolling Thunder ends at the count of 9,999, and then we'll draw that winner. That's all you got to do. So do the things. Let's go.
All right. So just fun questions. No pressure. No pressure at all. But these are just fun. So this
All the
first one, there's some pressure. You don't know about it. It's not going to be on you. There's no right answer for you. I'm going to be honest with you. So there's no wrong answer.
Oh,
also,
man.
There is
So
one right answer.
First one. Okay, Charles. Let's ease up. Let's let the guy get the question. My word. All right.
He's so nervous about this question now.
I know we
Yeah.
build it up too much. All right,
We
on
built
your
it too much.
on your fishing shirts, right? You're going fishing. You wear your long sleeve, like sun protection shirt. Do you prefer The hood on the shirt or no hood on the shirt if you had your druthers?
I'm a hood guy.
God,
Through and
I knew
through.
it.
Making a comeback. Making a comeback. We just got tied, dude. Sorry, we built that question up way too much. Paul and I have been having a battle. And if you guys don't know, this is episode 84, and we pre-recorded episode 86. So I got a stunner for you there. But yeah, we're climbing back. We're making a comeback, Team Hood. That's what's up.
Those
That's
are
what's up.
overrated.
And
Yeah.
one vote for shirtless
God dang it.
and shoeless, and that's Chaz.
Oh God. Oh yeah. I mean,
Oh, man.
all right. So the next question is actually related. What is your fishing footwear of choice? Let's say for if you're in the kayak.
Oh, it's Crocs, hands down.
Welcome
We
to
are
the
friends.
club.
This is it. This
Yes.
verifies it. Everything
Matt
else, you know,
Putnam
we're
would
building
still
up.
suck.
We're like, yeah, this guy's likable. Then you said hood and Crocs, and now, yeah,
Yeah.
bye Chaz,
Oh,
bye
God.
Paul. We're
Yeah,
friends now.
the feed
Let's-
cuts. It's
Bye
funny.
nerds.
All right.
Yeah. Wait, Chaz, don't leave. Never mind.
So I was actually thinking about this one. This one actually to me is kind of controversial. What is the best flavor of beef jerky? Not snack sticks. I want to be clear. Jerky, not snack sticks.
You got to go with the original peppered, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'll be honest. Teriyaki, people that say teriyaki freak me out. I don't know what to do with those people. I don't know what box to put them in. I don't know how to talk to approach them. I don't know what to do. It's difficult.
sticky hands box.
Disgusting. I don't even know. How do they make that? And it's like the number 1 or 2. Like everyone's just like, gotta get teriyaki. I'm like,
Yeah, they put syrup on the meat. Like, here's your
Yeah, I'll
teriyaki.
have-
There's like,
let's take
there
this
you go.
delicious beef and make it gross. Thanks for
Shake
that.
it up.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's
straight
not
up.
beef jerky. We're going very, very
It's beef.
specific. All right, so here's a good one. I like this one. If someone just like handed you $1,000 gift card to the old Bass Pro Shops, what would you be looking to buy? Not specifically, but like in general, like what would it be?
entire list.
Tackle, rods, reels. Like, would you be like, oh, I'm gonna go halvesies. I'm gonna go cash in a new yak. Like, what would you be doing?
I'd probably start in the combo rod and reel section, most likely,
Yeah.
and then work my way down. But I'd have to get 2 new rod and reels if I had $1,000.
That's
I mean,
but get a blow 70% of your budget right there. I mean, at that point, you just
Yeah.
go get line.
you got a G Loomis, right? So then you're all out of cash. But
Yeah,
then,
you're gone.
Then you
I like
you
it.
get the Johnny Morris combo, and you definitely don't get a kayak from Bass Pro. Please don't.
The good old Ascends or
The good old
Ascends? What are they?
Ascends.
Oh, God.
It seems like you buy 3 items from Bass Pro and it's $1,000 anyway. So
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, last time this is hilarious because this actually happened to me at one of the jobs I have. I have many. You guys know that in chat. One of the jobs I got $1,000 bonus to Cabela's, aka Bass Pro, and I legit bought 5 things. It was 5 things. One of them was a soft side Yeti cooler, so there's $300 gone. And then I think I got like, did I get the waders? I might have. No, I don't think I did.
Hogs? No,
I
don't
almost
think so.
bought. I almost bought Yeti cooler, Sims waders, done.
Oh.
that would have been it. That
Those
would've been
waiters
it.
though, I
Yeah.
got a gift card through my work actually, oddly enough.
And you did the
they paid
waiters.
they paid for those waiters, and I have not looked
Yeah.
back. And I would be willing to. I'd go the cash route next
I'll-
time. Those
I'll
things
say-
are legit.
We had this.
If you get in the river, man, those are legit.
We went wading, right? And both wore our waders. And it was kind of a summery day. It wasn't ideal. And I also had poison ivy all over my legs that day. So I was not in good shape. But my legs were soaked at the end of the trip. And Paul was just happy as a clam. He's just an enjoyable fellow, having a great old day in his very comfortable waders. And we joked that I bought the 1-plies. like I'll take the tissue paper material waders. That'd be great for me.
You got the Kirkland brand equivalent, and I'm rocking like Charmin Ultra, Double Ultra. Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
I suffered. I have
All right.
terrible waders, you guys.
Last question. This is one of my new favorites. It makes it on for everybody. What app gets the most use on your phone that isn't social media, work, or music related?
Man,
You don't have
I'm
to
not
check the
ready.
stats. You can just go from the hip.
I'm trying to think. I don't even know. I don't know what apps I get on.
Hardest
Maybe
question
like-
of the day.
I'll tell you
Probably
mine. I'll tell you mine. Mine's a reading app. I use the Kindle app. I read on my phone constantly for like hours. Why did that?
Greg Whitaker. Gosh dang it! I'm not. It stays hidden, you nerd.
I think it was little Tommy. We
Little
saw what
Tommy
you did.
too.
We saw what you said. It wasn't a good answer. You
I
can't
see
see
you
it. It's a good
guys.
thing for you.
Cut it out.
All right.
That's hilarious. All right,
What do you
Marshall.
think?
I'd
what's your
probably say either my guitar app for like chords and tabs, or like Amazon. I'm gonna be on one of those if I'm not on social media.
Amazon? All right, so I like the guitar chords. That's pretty sweet.
That is rad.
So first of all, what are you shredding on? What's your guitar?
I got a few Ibanez's, mainly acoustic guitars is all I play
Okay.
on. But
Okay.
I probably got 10 guitars, so I don't know if I can list them all. But
Okay.
And you didn't pick that to go pro in?
What?
no,
Pretty decent. I feel like you're selling them maybe just a little short. My brother's a professional musician. Anyways, continue.
I don't think I enjoy music enough to be pro at it.
If
You
you
know, like,
have
I didn't
10
have 10
instruments,
guitars.
that's a lot. What?
I'm sorry, chat. Can we redefine enjoyment of an
Yeah.
activity? Is it the point at which you buy 10 of the thing that you like to do?
In my defense, people used to just buy me guitars for Christmas and stuff.
Oh, it's
I
one of
need those.
those. Okay, they're like, yeah,
They're like,
Marshall
oh, you
likes
know.
guitars.
Yeah, he likes
Get him a
guitars.
Gift
Let's
card,
buy him
not
another one.
guitar. That's sweet. Wow.
Dang.
So what kind of music do you play?
Yeah,
We're gonna let you go. I
that's what I
promise.
was
What
gonna
kind of
ask.
music do you play?
You can probably tell from my accent, but it's going to be country music mainly. But I
Like-
do like some 70s rock. My dad did
Yeah.
get me into that, some Pink Floyd, some stuff like that.
Hey, like,
I like
it's
that.
gotta be. I was gonna say it's gotta be either like Skynyrd or Luke Bryan. Like, there's only 2 routes.
No, we don't do Luke Bryan down here.
We are so
That's-
good.
that-
We are the best friends. I hate.
It was a
I
trick
love country music.
question.
I despise new country music. Like I only listen to the old man station, dude. Yeah, I don't listen to Britney country. I can't do it, man. No dig on Britney Spears. No dig on Britney Spears, but I can't do it.
Leave
Yeah.
Brittany alone. All right, let's roll the winner here, Chaz.
Good answers. God, this is
Yeah, fantastic. Kyle Skaggs, who just joined the Snorlax crew. Kyle Skaggs, please tell me you're still here. You have to say hi, and then we gotta get your.
I thought we were talking
email.
country music still. I thought we were talking about Ricky Skaggs. I was like, okay.
No.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I know, right? I am an old man. Everyone's telling me I'm an old man. I absolutely love Hank Williams, dude. I literally walk
I don't
around
know
just
if that
singing
was like a-
songs that nobody knows. That's what I do.
I don't know if that was a burn or not. Paul
I
loves
don't
Hank
care.
Williams. These are facts.
I'm accepting that as a good thing. I still need to get used to. I need to write it into the show notes. I need to we need to announce the winner before the last question to give him time. So he's here.
Give me your email, Kyle. You're here.
Now we
I
just
see ya.
need the email before
Type
we
the
let you guys
email.
go.
Bonus points if it's skaterboy42069 at AOL.com. I'll send you 2 prizes.
Oh, God.
I know.
I wonder if it's
Worth it. Yeah,
no,
you
dude.
can't
That's
get an
triple taken.
AOL.com
Everybody knows that's absolutely taken.
by me.
All right,
I
come
told
on.
you guys.
Kyle, Kylie, whatever your name is, let's do this.
It's
There he
Kyle.
is.
No, that's
Aw.
Greg Whitaker.
Boo. Someone just typed in Skaterboy
Oh,
469
Greg,
at AOL. Nice try though. At
solid.
AOL.com is the
All right. While he's typing that in, we want to know what's up next for you. What's coming up? Any coming up trips? Any video plans? Any fall season specials for Georgia Bassmaster, the greatest fisherman in Georgia,
Hands down.
hands down, no questions asked. Come fight me. Yo,
Well-
and Fishing with Fitz just joined the Snorlax crew. What's up, dude? Thanks, man. Welcome aboard.
Well,
All right. Marshall, continue. And Kyle typed in his email. And it's cool. No, it's actually a cool email. I almost said it out loud. It is legitimately almost it's a cool email. It's almost the email that I just made up on the spot. Anyways, all right.
We'll
Mark,
tell you off air.
I'll
It
tell
was
you off
amazing.
air. I'm so excited about that email though. Thanks, Kyle. Sorry.
So what do you have on the docket?
Marshall, what do you have coming up? I'm ignoring everybody else for a moment.
I told you guys off air I'm going to fish with Larry in a couple days. Going to try to take over the Alabama title as well, so I can be the Alabama Bassmaster.
Ooh,
There's
dude, just
some
take
hard
over all the
competition
state.
out there.
Yeah, for sure.
But and then obviously I got some new species I'm trying to knock out, because I was telling you earlier that Georgia had 10, actually 11 black bass species. I'm trying to catch every single one of them. I've caught 7 so far.
Nice.
But trying to knock those out one by one.
That's awesome, man. And what do you boys do in the winter time?
Oh, we fish all winter.
Fishing with us. You're fishing with us.
So
my
jealous.
water temperature doesn't get below 42 degrees, even in the coldest. So, like, I'll still be throwing A-rigs all winter.
Paul,
we're ready. We're coming down.
We need a second house down there. I'm just saying that.
But we don't get to ice fish. Never get it done.
I mean, you are missing out on that, but you can always come up and ice fish. I mean, honestly, you only need to do it once, and then you can be.
That's the thing, man. You do it once, you get the. I don't know. You gotta
do it more. I want to do it more, but I'd say
really
most
hard.
people, if they get the one-time experience, are like, okay.
It's like going to a bar. Like, you don't need to go to the same bar 16 times. You can go just the one time. You're like, it's cool. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I don't need to go back.
You just do it. You just do it. All right. So real quick, Ramon Outdoors, $2 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. How hard was it completing the Georgia Bass Slam?
That's what I was talking about. But
yeah, he's not done yet. He's close.
He's not done.
Well,
so very hard.
You only have to catch 5 to complete it.
Mm.
But anything more than 5 is just bonus. But it's actually not too bad, because most streams you can find 3 species. Like, you're going to find like a largemouth, like a Chattahoochee bass, a shoal bass. They'll be in the same stream, you know. So it's not too bad. I knocked 5 species out in about 3 or 4 weeks, but I knew what I was doing, knew where I was going.
Yeah.
So if you can have some help and figure out where these fish are in Georgia and travel there and get on a good spot, you can get it knocked out pretty reasonably fast. But if you're just guessing, you're not going to get it done, because some of these fish are just isolated in certain streams and they don't cross streams at all. So, like, that's where, like, if you're looking for a Tallapoosa bass, they're only in the Tallapoosa River, or maybe a creek that feeds it. But you're not going to catch a Tallapoosa bass in a different river. It's just not going to happen.
I feel like that is kind of a giveaway, though. So I feel like people probably know where to find that bass.
Well, that one is a giveaway because that's the name.
I know,
but like some of these, like a shoal bass or Sewanee bass,
100%.
It's like some of these are a little harder to find.
That would be like, I need to catch trout. Where would I go? This is trout stream.
Yeah, trout stream would be great.
That'd be a good place to look. I love it.
Grief. I'm with B Dooley. He says never cross streams, just like the Ghostbusters, bro. Like you never do that. Don't cross streams. Never come back crick. Is that the name of the crick? Interesting.
All right, we have derailed. This dude's got to get up in this guy's got to get up in about 20 minutes. Like, let's let this man go.
Let me do my outro. All right, we got this. All right, so Marshall, where can everybody find you? Where should they be looking for you on socials?
My name is Georgia Bassmaster on all socials. So you type that in, you'll be able to find me anywhere.
And you better Google that, you guys. You'll find out the best fishermen in Georgia.
Yeah, hands down.
Thank you so much for your time tonight, man. It's been fantastic talking to you. I know you got to wake up early, so we'll cut out here. But you guys are awesome as well. Thank you so much for watching, hanging out with us on another Thursday. We'll be back next week as well, 8 p.m. Eastern, the exact same place and same time. And we're going to be talking to Mr. and Mrs.
Wish I Was Fishing.
Mr. and Mrs. Wish I Was Fishing. And they are awesome peoples, and it's going to be a good time, so we can't wait to see you guys there. Members, be sure to tune in Tuesday the 12th, 8 p.m. Eastern, same time. We'll look forward to seeing you there if you are Shark Deuce or Snorlax level. All right, you guys, that's what we got tonight. You're awesome. Thank you so much for being cool. Chaz, take us out of here.
Took a swing at a wrecking ball and I prayed for my downfall, and I found a way to reconcile, 'cause in my heart it's not worthwhile. It's a bloody battlefield where sun go down, others heal. In the end it's all the same. All you can do